Hey everybody, this is the officially unofficial Geek Channel Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Roundup. Did you miss me? I did not do this last week. And you know what? That's okay. Sometimes you have to take time for yourself, and sometimes you gotta have time to read the comics. Okay, so here I am. We're back. And we're gonna talk about comics in the spoilertastic way. A few things to talk about first. So a little housekeeping here. Um, guys, I have been a channel on YouTube for a year now. This is pretty momentous because it means I did something pretty regularly for a year. Um, keep I kept on, working to, improve and do things and like everything like that and I'm actually pretty proud of myself. And um I know I want to mark this momentous occasion. I'm still kind of working that out in my head, how I want to do it, what I want to do, that kind of thing. So please keep posted, stay tuned to the spot. I also want to give a shout out today to the Casually Comics Sunday crew for actually giving me a shout out today about my 1 year anniversary. That would be Jen and Mars from the Casually Comics Sunday Comics chat on Comics Will Break Your Heart. They both have their channels, and you know what? To thank them again, I'm going to give them a little shout out down in the description below with a link. Thank you very much for your shout out and all that, ladies. Thank you. Love the show and love catching it whenever I can. And the chat on that channel is on that show is always amazing. Amazing people in the chat. Always a lot of fun talking comics on Sunday around noon my time, because my time I am Central Time. So it's around noon my time on Sundays. Check it out. Um, these women know their shit. Okay. Um, got some stuff coming up for the channel besides staying tuned for whatever I decide to do for my 1 year anniversary, which will be soon if I do anything at all. Um, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do something. This is kind of cool. I'm gonna do something. It's just, what am I gonna do? That's the thing. And I want to give anyone that might want to participate in that kind of thing a little bit of a notice. So I'm probably gonna make this decision within the next day or two. And I'll say something definitely on the channel. Definitely on my social medias, all that stuff. But just some stuff coming up. I went basically to this really cool antique flea market type thing yesterday, and I got a bunch of cool stuff, comic wise, and I want to show that to you guys, but I'm going to wait because I also have something in the way of an unboxing from an eBay that I won. Yes, another one, guys. I may have a problem. But anyways, I'm going to try and pair these two things together, and I'm pretty sure this is going to show up tomorrow in my mailbox. So stay tuned for that as well. We've got our normal things like Collected Edition Tuesdays, where this week, I'm going to go ahead and announce it now, I am doing Under the Red Hood, which seems like the natural progression from Hush. Even though there are, believe it or not, there are 3 storylines that happen, technical storylines that happen in between Hush and Under the Red Hood, but I am going to tackle Under the Red Hood first. And that's going to be on Tuesdays for Collected Edition Tuesdays. We're going to have What's Happening Wednesdays, which is probably going to end up being about the Book of Boba Fett again, because, well, we're really hot on that subject. And we got 2 more episodes of the book of Boba Fett, and then I got to figure out what the hell else I'm going to talk about on What's Happening Wednesdays. The last two episodes, I do have, we talk about on What's Happening Wednesdays. My boyfriend Joe, actually, super Star Wars fan, joins me for both of those episodes. So if you're interested, go ahead and take a look back on those two. And this week, I believe I can anticipate being joined by him again to discuss the book of Boba Fett. And then on Friday, we have Flashback Friday. Pretty sure I know what I'm going to be doing for that one. I've been doing these first appearances lately, and they usually have something to coincide with something else that I am watching or reading at the time. So take a wild guess. Maybe you're right. Let me know. And then, as usual, you guys are here, so you know that we are here to talk about comics in the spoilertastic way. I finished reading my comics that I got today, this morning. So let's go ahead and we're going to dive into these babies right now. Remember, this is a spoiler-tastic editorial review of comics that I read this week. So if you have not read your comics, and let me just say, they're all DC, because you know me and my DC. If you have not read your DC comics this week, please pause this video, come back later after you have completed them, because nobody really wants to be spoiled unless you want to be spoiled, and then stay right here, because here we go. As always, I go from my least best to my favorite of the week. I'm going to preface this all by saying nothing was really horrible this week. Nothing really stands out as being absolutely abysmal. It happens from time to time. I do pan things, but this week I'm not exactly panning anything totally. But let's go ahead and we're going to jump right into it with Detective Comics 1050. What's interesting about this event is that it seems like with each issue that comes, it's answering my question from the previous issue, which is good. Good. So thankfully here, my question from the last issue was, why is Helena in Arkham? And my question from the week before that was, who is Nightwing referring to when he's talking about, did you see her? And so far, everything's been answered. And we're up to date here with Detective Comics 1050 Shadows of the Bat. What's really funny is that the phrase "Shadows of the Bat" as the name of an event just really, I think it's used quite a bit with Batman because it's easy. Guys, come on. A little bit more creativity here. Seriously. Anyways, in this issue, we answer the question, why is Helena Huntress in Arkham Tower of her own volition? Okay, so we also get this really, so we find out more information about why Helena is in the tower, and we and what her situation is. And as if you've been carrying on and reading Detective Comics, especially the Batman Secret Files Huntress issue, you know that she unfortunately was affected by this parasite, the Hugh Vile parasite. And even though she has recovered physically, she doesn't have the parasite in her anymore or anything like that, mentally, she has this little, clairvoyant situation going on here with the parasite and that kind of thing, and people in general, victims in trouble. And it's causing her to have a little bit of I'm going to say not a little bit of stress, a lot of stress, because as you can imagine, watching people getting hurt and sometimes not being able to stop it would be pretty rough. So there's this lovely comparison of her to Batman, told through the eyes of Nightwing. I really liked how that was written. Let's see here, Nightwing goes undercover in the hospital to check on Huntress, and this happens right after an avulsion kills one of the party crashers. If you recall that kind of started in the last issue. Helena witnesses it in her head, and she's in a locked room, and she can't do anything about it. That is rough. And Dr. Ware shows up and is like, what he does is he tries to make her feel like this is all a dream, gives her medication to help her sleep and all that. And so that was kind of like, ew. There's not a lot of ways to put someone being made to feel like would we call this gaslighting? I think there's the possibility we would call what Dr. Ware has done with Helena as gaslighting. Yes. Even though she also thinks and hopes it was all a dream. So you also have Dr. Ware arguing with a shadowy figure in Dr. Ocean's office. And I'm like, you know what? I need to find out who Dr. Ocean is. We need to find out who Dr. Ocean is. And believe me, this was not the question that got asked by the end of this issue, because we got our answer. Guys, we got our answer already. And I see what you did, Tamaki. I see what you did. I see what you did there. Because Dr. Ocean is Psycho Pirate. Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Ocean is Psycho Pirate. But let's talk about some other things that I liked in the issue. I liked that Huntress still has Doug the cat. If you recall, Doug the cat showed up for the first time in the Huntress secondary tales that were coming out of Detective Comics a number of months back. And she took Doug in when his owner was killed. And I love that she still has Doug. I love that Doug is possibly as finicky as my cats are about their food and their extracurricular activities, such as, TV watching and what have you. Yeah, so that was really interesting. The whole, I'm interested to see where the whole Psycho Pirate thing leads. Dr. Ocean, Psycho Pirate, I'm interested to see where that leads. That kind of came out of nowhere, even though I see what she did there with the names. But I gotta talk about something. I really do. I've spent a lot of time talking about my worst comic this week. But I have to say something that is on my mind. I have to go there. I have to do this. So we had 2 secondary tales in this comic. Okay? That's not the problem. In fact, there is no problem with these 2 secondary tales. They are good. Okay? If you're sleeping on the secondary tales here, and one Go back and read them. Okay, go back, read them before you get bogged down with your comics on Tuesday and Wednesday. Go back and read them real quick because good. Okay, good. You've got the Dawn of the World's Finest, which is definitely going to be an out of continuity, just really good, solid Superman Batman tale, and it's nice. It's fun. But I really want to talk about House of Gotham. Okay, because this started a couple issues ago, and I gotta tell y'all something. If I want to entice you at all to read this, if you are sleeping on the secondary tales, especially House of Gotham over the last few issues of Detective Comics, go back and read them if you are one of these people that felt gypped. Excuse me, I shouldn't use that term. Excuse me, I apologize. If you're one of these people, because it's a derogatory term and sometimes I have to correct myself. If you're someone that feels cheated by what was seemingly promised by Fierce State and was not delivered upon, or you feel it was not delivered upon in regards to having a cool scarecrow story. This is a scarecrow story. And I feel like this is the level of scarecrow story written by Rosenberg, Blanco, and Belair. They did the work on it. This is a level of a scarecrow story that we should have had with Fierce State, in my humble opinion. It's just good. It's just good. It's just good. And it's hard to talk to you about it and not be just like, just read it. Just read it. Just do that. So moving on, we're going to talk about, I don't want to talk about it because if I talk about it, that means it's over. If I talk about it, that means it's over. And I don't want it to be over. I understand a lot of people's complaints involving Wonder Girl as a series so far. I do see them. I get them. And I acknowledge them. And I understand them. I do. Because they're some of the complaints that they have made, I understand and I get. The fact that it seemed rushed. The fact that there was rushed character development. The fact that it just seemed things were happening or just happened and we were just supposed to accept it. However, I see the characters having had and has great potential, and to not be given the due that it needed, not being given maybe the attention it needed has been a problem. Moments that stood out to me is the moment between Yara and her mother, the ghost of her mother, and then that moment where, you know, that door bursts open and you just get charge of fucking Amazons, you know, coming through the door when she realizes that Eros is the one that killed her mother, when she realizes everything, okay? And she gets so pissed. Basically, it's like, drop a fucking rock on your ass, Eros. You know what? Yes. The thing is, this was one of these strong woman roles that also paired with the whole idea of representation. Everybody had something to gain from this comic. And it just fell apart. It fell apart. Because obviously, if you are not already aware, this was the last issue of Wonder Girl. God damn it. Seriously. Because you know what? This is representation and story and everything you could have wanted in one little 20 some odd page package every month if you could get it every month. I'm getting a little, I'm ranting. I'm ranting because I'm angry. I'm ranting because I'm angry. Because this is representation. This is story. This is everything that could have freaking happened. Wiped out by bad management. Pretty much. Let's go ahead. You know what? It's an assumption still on my part. It really is. It's an assumption still on my part. But I'm going to tell you something. When you have a character that has been brought out and been like hyped up because of her appearances in Future State, that little cameo appearance in Death Metal, Future State, working and those 2 issues that came out for Future State that everyone lauded and applauded and was so freaking excited about. I'm even talking to my hands right now. I do that when I'm mad. Sorry, guys. But to have that kind of fanfare for this wonderful idea of a character, this built up image of a character that was already there. And let me tell you something. That first issue of Wonder Girl, with that imagery showing this whole idea of reverberation going across the DC universe, and then all of a sudden, you can't get the issue out every month? Come on. Come on. But yeah, Batman's out every month. I mean, I'm seeing that. I'm saying that as a Batman stan, as a Batman fan. But you know what? It's not even this, just this. It's not even just that. You know, Suicide Squad, Get Joker, Black Label, number 3. It's a 3-issue series, okay? The last issue we got was in early fall. We have 1 and 2. And number 3 was supposed to come out first, I believe, in October. And then it got pushed back to January. And now it's getting pushed back, I believe, to April. Please correct me if I am wrong. Please correct me if I am wrong. We have Superman vs. Lobo number 3 coming out in February, when the last issue we got was a couple months ago. What the heck? And it's not just those. There's a lot of other ones. Milestone Media was supposed to have a DC special for Black History Month and has now been pushed back to June. And some people are speculating, well, what about Juneteenth? Maybe they're doing it for that. Well, you know what? You know something? Would it have killed DC Comics to have done something for Black History Month and Juneteenth? Especially when you have something as much of a fan favorite as Milestone Media? Would it have killed you? Seriously? Seriously? Okay, rant over. We're going to move on to the next issue. Thank you, Yara Flor. Hopefully we see you again outside of Trial of the Amazons. Please. Hopefully. Okay, guys, we're going to talk about Task Force Z. Okie dokie. Number 4, my boy, near and dear to my heart, my comic book boyfriend, Jason Todd. Gotta love him. Gotta love my Jason Todd. Okay, so here's the thing. We had quite the cliffhanger last month, okay, with Jason Todd kind of breaking free from the location that he's supposed to be kept in, as being kind of like the leader of Task Force Z. And he realizes that Crispin is actually Two-Face. Yes, I decided to take a drink of my sparkling water after that, my fizzy water, to let that kind of, if you weren't already aware, let that sink in a little bit. Last issue was really good. Okay, guys, last month's issue, you had Jason Todd not only finding out that Crispin is Two-Face, but you also had him basically, from what I can tell based on what happened in this issue, yes, Bane is still present on the cover, but Jason basically got them to give them more of this Lazarin resin so that they could get more of their minds back. These zombies, these, kind of currently dead villains, more of their memories back and more of their minds back, just so he could go to Bane and be like, you know why I'm pissed. You've got your mind back. You know why I'm pissed at you. You know why I hate you, basically. And basically, he's just like, I want you to say it. And that's that moment where Jason, I want you to say why I'm beating the crap out of you, because he started beating the crap out of Bane at a zombie Bane last month. And it's that moment where you have Jason, tell me you know. And he's like, I know. And he's like, what is it? Say it. And he said, it's Alfred Pennyworth. And then, Jason throws him off the building, okay? So you had that moment where Jason throws him off the building. You had the moment where you have him finding out that that's Two-Face. Okay, it was really solid last month. Last month, I believe, when it was time for Task Force C, it was one of my best comics that week. Now, we are kind of closer to the bottom because there's a lot of confusion in this thing. Okay? Two-Face, yes, is here, but it seems like Two-Face is actually wanting to be kind of like in Catwoman, where we have the Clayface and his Second Chance crew. It seems like Two-Face is trying to turn over a new leaf. And so he's trying to do this thing where, build this team, and Jason Todd's, and, heading, leading the team and everything like that. And he's trying to give all these things, second chances. And he wants a second chance himself. Why can't anyone understand that I actually want to do something good? And you know what? I kind of believe him. And the thing is he's got, like, Jason doesn't believe him. But it seems like Two-Face has got the receipts. And he's like, look, here you go. Here's this, and this is for real. And I'm really trying to not be a shithead, you know? And so there's that. We find out that in this story, this little part of the story is taking place right before Batman leaves on his Batman Incorporated trip. Because Batman is there and he's like, Jason gives him the information. So basically that kind of answers that question about why Jason let himself be taken in the first place. But now Jason's like, yeah, you got the information. And Batman's like, yeah, you can leave now. You don't have to continue this. And Jason's like, oh, I see how it is. You just want me to leave. But what about, me not doing what you want me to do? which is like always how they are. And so now he feels like he has to prove something to Bruce Wayne that he can do what he wants to do and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So Amanda Waller shows up and she's shutting it down. She doesn't want all this. She thinks that they're failing. Two-Face Harvey is trying to be like, no, 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 we're not failing. Give us more time. And she's not hearing it because, well, she's Amanda Waller. And, but Harvey Dent still sends out his team to find more Lazarus resin again. And they seem to encounter an operation very similar to theirs, with another Task Force Z. Is this Waller's group? I'm wondering, or is it something else entirely? A little bit of a cliffhanger. We're going to probably find out next month exactly what's going on. So, next we're going to talk about Action Comics. Action Comics 1039. This is solid. This is really solid. You've got Johnson, Federici, and Lofridge. Federici and Lofridge with the art gives you such Conan, John Carter feel specifically, and I think it's either an accident or they're totally meaning to do it. You can definitely tell from the cover what I'm talking about, and everybody is trying to find their footing and their place in what's going on here because they've all, if they didn't die in the first couple issues of them being in World, they're all trying to find their footing in place in this whole thing. One character we did not check in with was Manchester Black. I hope he's okay. But I love the ending because Midnighter is like kind of not captured, and he's kind of like he's leading his own little rebellion of slaves, and he's trying to keep tabs on Apollo. And I gotta say something, Midnighter and Apollo, pretty decent love story here, guys, okay? Because Midnighter is like, okay, so we're gonna do this and this, and he's like trying to keep tabs on where Apollo is and everything like that, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But we have Clark, Superman, sitting here like he's been in the pits, and the thing is like, and he has someone, Theodosian, telling him like, you can't fight the way you usually fight in these pits because you will be dead and there'll be no reason for you being here. So you see the idea that Superman is getting into his head, and he's understanding it because he takes on a new weapon. He does this, that, and takes on a new weapon. He says to this dude, he's like, okay, you've got a point, and I'm going to accept that you have a point. So I need you to help me, teach me how to fight in these pits the way I should be. And that's kind of where we leave this off. So, solid issues, solid storyline, continues to be great, art-wise, especially with the whole kind of, and it started a few issues ago, and I really didn't mention it then, and I was like, you know what, I should really make sure to mention that when I talk about it this time around, because that's some good stuff right there. So I had kind of a surprise this week. And I'm going to talk about it because this is my surprise this week. This is pretty darn good. If you go into this expecting it to be John Cena Peacemaker, you'll be disappointed. You'll be confused, upset, disappointed. You'll hate it. You'll hate this. But if you let certain things about this, especially right there on the cover, be your guide. This is a war comic. This is not silly. And let's be real here. It's good. For what it is, it's good. That's my opinion. Being real about my opinion here. It's good. Am I going to say that I didn't hear John Cena's voice in some aspects of what Peacemaker here, what Chris Smith was saying in this book? Now, I'm not going to lie. I heard it. I heard it in my head. It happened. But it is nothing like anything John Cena, James Gunn, or anything like that have done. I absolutely love that stuff. Seriously. That is, I live for Thursday when I can watch Peacemaker lately. But, yeah. It's totally different. And you know what? You get, when you see this cover, you pretty much know what you're getting into, and then you see that it's Garth Ennis. Yeah, you know what you're getting into with this book. And let me tell you something. I really did like it. I really did like it a lot for what it is. For what it is. It's a one shot. We don't have to worry about that again. Next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is Robin, because Damien's awesome. Here's the thing. I'm loving this story, and I'm loving Damien. Damien is probably favorite Robin. Yeah, I'm gonna say that right now. Damien is favorite Robin. So what happened was, what had happened was, we thought Damien had been blasted back in time. No, he's just dreaming. It's okay. He was not blasted to the pasted, okay? He's simply knocked out, and his mind is being manipulated by Mother Soul, his great-grandmother. Little does she know that a door, once open, allows entry from either direction. And Damien takes over the situation and gets out of this little mindfuck that she's got going on to let his friends know exactly what the deal is. And Mother Soul continues to break it all down, and tries to break down Damien into thinking his family doesn't care about him. And we're right on cue. Here comes Grandpa and Mom. Look, Rish and Talia, they're fuckers mostly. But she totally got me in that villain's issue. That villain's anniversary issue, her story, where you see the emotion for Damien that she does have as his mother, that she, if there's any person that Talia al Ghul really truly cares about, even in her fucked up way, because she was cared about in a fucked up way, is Damien. And Damien is, yeah, Damien's the only thing she really cares about, the only person she really cares about in this world. And yeah, she's fucked up, but she cares. And now Mama's here, Damien. Mama's here. Who's to say, based on some of the stuff that I've read, that's going to be coming up, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Daddy shows up too very soon. Because somebody really, really, really needs to do a whole like Goodwill Hunting moment with Damien and just be like, you know what? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. What happened to Alfred Pennyworth in City of Bane is not your fault. Not your fault. See, like, that's what really gets to me is this whole journey. The reason he's there. The reason Damien is there. The reason Damien went to this whole thing was because he feels like he let Alfred down. That's not me guessing. That's something that has actually been in the writing for this series. Someone needs to really tell him it's not your fault. For crying out freaking loud, it is not your fault. Okay, so moving on. We got 2 issues left. If you knew what came out for DC this week, you're gonna know pretty much who these 2 issues are. But let's go ahead and probably surprise you by saying that my next to last issue, not my best issue, is Harley Quinn 11. Y'all know I love Harley. And she's my next to last issue. She's not my favorite issue this week, this month, but that's okay. She's continuing this group therapy thing, going for the former henchman, and the woman that Keepsake got to be Blaine. Yeah. She's just like really upset, and she's telling her story and how she's upset that she was taken again into these, this whole idea of being a henchman. And Harley starts comforting her and talks about all the strides that all the people are doing in their recovery. But as we know, and she doesn't know, Kevin isn't there because Keepsake has kidnapped him. And he then summons Harley to basically come and get him, so she's got to go through Keepsake and everything that's going on there first. And this is really cool. Like, I love how Stephanie Phillips consistently writes Harley with intelligence that we all know she has. It's really great, and it's I love how we mix that whole intelligence with the Harley Quinn personality, and it's there and it's solid. And I really enjoy that, and I enjoy her encountering the the robot peacekeepers with jack-o'-lantern heads. Jack-o'-lantern heads. And she starts talking about how much she loves robots and how she cheers for them in movies. And then she gets on this whole thing about women action heroes and how the first Terminator is actually the best Terminator, and how she loves Linda Hamilton, and how she starts talking about Linda Hamilton and Ellen Ripley in the Alien movies, and she starts talking about women in STEM. I love it. And she's sitting there, she's fighting these robots, and just being Harley. And I love it. So Keepsake has the impossible decision, and I think Keepsake is expecting Harley to make one decision. And here's the impossible situation Harley has been saddled with at this point. So she has to choose between two things. One, saving Kevin, because Kevin is now tied to the tracks in Silas Mariner's fashion, okay? Tied to the tracks of a train coming towards Gotham. Now, she can save Kevin, or there is a bomb on the train that is set to detonate when it gets into a certain area of Gotham, thus killing probably thousands of people. Are you serious? Damn. That's the hero's choice. Do you save one person that you love, or do you save thousands of people and all that? And you can only do one. And she's sitting there and she's told to make a choice. You have to either choose to save Kevin, or you're going to have to choose to save thousands of people that could get blown up. And it's the impossible choice, but it's the hero's choice, and she chooses to save thousands of people. Now, while this is all going down, Blaine, who accidentally, the woman that was Blaine, accidentally forgets something in the group location, and she goes back and she finds the letter that Harley got from Keepsake, saying, you know, I've got Kevin, blah, blah, blah. So I totally think, because, like, she's, like, pissed, and she's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to do something, you know, I'm going to get you, Keepsake. So I totally think that Harley's reward for right now making the right decision, the hero decision, will be rewarded by somebody coming and helping her save Kevin. Because if Kevin dies, 1, I'm probably going to cry. 2, other people are probably going to cry. 3, that's just rotten. That could have an effect on the overall progression of what's going on with Harley right now. But right now, we have this moment where she has to be like, what the hell do I do? And she chooses to save thousands of people. So, hopefully that pays off for her in the end. Hopefully somebody helps Kevin, and we'll find out next month. So now the moment we have been waiting for. Now the moment we've been waiting for. My number 1 issue of the week is Human Target number 4. Tom King and Greg Smallwood. It's books like this where Tom King really shines the most, and where you see his writing style works the best. What I'm saying here is, like, when he has a style that has a lot of narration, and you see it throughout everything that he writes, that's fine, with enjoyable focus given in the creation of it. And the focus here is absolutely killer. It's wonderful. I love this whole, because the thing is when he's sitting there and he's witnessing, so what happens is Ice takes him to meet Ted Kord, Blue Beetle, and Blue Beetle is like, okay, so guys, I gotta go and I gotta do some saving stuff. How about y'all come with me and Ice can help me and all this stuff. So they end up going, like, place to place to place on Blue Beetle's ship, and he goes and he's doing all this stuff, and Ice is helping him, and you get this whole, like, build up in the narration, like the thoughts of the Human Target, where you feel like at the end of the issue it's going to pay off and he is going to actually reveal some realization about his situation involving, trying to figure out who poisoned him. And it actually turns out that he has this beautiful moment of appreciation for ice. And he doesn't vocalize it. He doesn't say anything, but he's just sitting there and you see his thoughts. And he's just like, and all these things they did. And I realized something. She could have done it all herself. She could have done everything herself. But she chose to just work with Blue Beetle and do all this stuff. She is really, truly magnificent. And then he shows up at his room, at this hotel room that they're now staying at, that Ted Cord owns and everything like that, because they couldn't get back in time and they're all tired and stuff. And she's in there and she's like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's let it, this really hachi-machi moment where she's sitting there and she's like, when we get to a certain point, I hope you can handle it, because it'll get cold. And I'm like, hey, okay, cool, alrighty, that's hot. That's hot. Yeah. But let me tell you something. I just love that moment where it's just, you think he's about ready to say something, that some realization that he's had throughout the entire day about his case and trying to figure out who basically poisoned him, and he's going to be dead in 12 in less than 12 days now. He's going to be dead in 8 days. And it's like, no. He's just sitting there enjoying being around her. And it's just like, wow. Like, yeah. So that's why that's why it ended up being my issue of the week. Sorry not sorry. I love that series. I am so glad that I wasn't even going to read that one, and here it is. Here it is. My number 1 issue of the week. Thank you very much. Human Target, number 4. Tom King, Greg Smallwood. Yowza. 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 Okay, guys, so that's all I've got for you this week. This has been fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's a little bit longer than usual because I got into some rants about Wonder Girl. But that's okay, because you know what? I got that out and now I can move on. And hopefully we see her again real soon outside of the Trial of the Amazons that's coming soon. That's probably going to be good too, because we got some Nubia. We've got her. We've got this new tribe of Amazons from Brazil. So that's going to be good. I'm excited about that. And an event that is Wonder Woman, it is not Batman. Thank you very much. Yes, please. So yeah. So we've got, like I said earlier in the video, we got stuff coming up. We've got stuff on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought of this week's comics, especially if you read any of the ones I read. Please, keep on keeping on, and I am actually going to go and run and read more now. I'm gonna have a cookie because I bought these cookies from Aldi, and I'm gonna have a cookie and I'm gonna read some more Under the Red Hood because that's coming on Tuesday, guys. And you know the deal. Please stay tuned if you're interested. I'm going to figure out this whole, what am I going to do for my 1 year anniversary thing and let you all know. Hopefully we can do something cool and all that. So until then, please like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends about me. And I'll be seeing ya. This is the officially unofficial Geek Channel. I'm Carrie Quinn. And bye!